Brea's old city slogan was oil, oranges, and opportunity. There's still plenty of oil in Brea and lots of opportunity, but as for oranges, these here at the market are probably as many as you're going to see in any other location in Brea except one other place, Brea's last remaining orange grove. Yep, this one at the corner of Lambert Road and Brea is the very last one left, which is kind of sad, because did you know that in the late 20s, through the 30s and into the beginning of the 40s, our area had one of the world's largest citrus and avocado groves? Strangely, most of those groves belonged to the Union Oil Company, which planted them beginning in 1925 to earn some money from all the vacant land it was holding here for future oil development. Acres and acres were carefully cultivated. In fact, in 1939, 207,000 orange, lemon, grapefruit, and avocado trees surrounded the town on all sides. That's not even counting the trees belonging to other owners. By the way, it takes about 10 years from when the seedlings are planted until you can start selling their fruit as a paying crop. All those years are difficult ones for the growers because they're constantly having to work in the groves, doing such things as clearing out weeds between the rows of trees and watching out and spraying for a variety of pests and diseases that can cause all sorts of problems to the fruit. There's also the difficulty of finding enough irrigation water, but Union Oil was lucky because it had the Air Vista water well and 17 other wells, including this one, right here in the corner of Brea and Lambert. On the other hand, we never did have any Union Oil packing houses here in Brea. Instead, it was over in Fullerton and East Whittier, where the fruit was washed, sorted, graded, wrapped, boxed, and shipped out to customers under one of the company's several marketing labels. As for who picked the fruit here, over the years we've had Jamaicans, Anglos of course, Mexican Americans, and Mexicans brought to this country under the Bracero program, who spent many seasons here harvesting the fruit and doing what other jobs needed to be done in the groves. During the Second World War, though, we had one other group here, German prisoners of war from a camp over the hills in Pomona. As it turned out, 3 of them decided they'd try to escape to Mexico by stealing a car from the big old Seavers house at the corner of Imperial and Berry. One was soon captured in Brea when he went to a house on Imperial asking for food, while the other 2 were taken into custody 6 miles south of Tijuana. All 3 were then taken back to Pomona to wait out the war or until the time when they were released and allowed to return to their homes in Germany. So with all those people working here, what happened to all the groves? Well, in 1940 and 1941, Union Oil decided to go out of the citrus business, so it either kept, sold, or leased a lot of its acreage, and on the rest, it simply bulldozed out the trees. Despite that, from the sky, you could see there were still plenty of trees left, but in the early 50s, they too started to disappear quickly because of the big housing boom that hit Southern California during those years. Groundbreaking ceremonies for new tracts were being held even before the trees were removed. Huge groves were ripped out and replaced by hundreds of new homes, especially in the southern part of Brea, south of Elm Street. There's this great old photo of Brea Olinda High School, I think from the 1940s, showing a big orange grove behind it. Then in 1954, that grove had been sold to developers, bulldozed away, and ads for the new Brea Gardens housing tract built in its place were being run in the Brea Progress. Since then, more and more groves in town disappeared and more homes were built. I'm just happy, though, that these trees here on the Amaron property still exist. And from what I hear, there's no plans to remove them either. But you know how plans go. Sometimes they can be changed, so keep your fingers crossed they don't. Because when these trees go, Brea will have lost forever an important part of its early history. For this Did You Know segment of Video Brea Line, I'm Brian Saul.